I'm Bethany. Thank you so much for watching. I have 4 videos that I made on leather jewelry making. It's important that you have leather that's being repurposed. Old purses, old shoes, old jackets, and if you don't have something in your own closet, go to Goodwill and find something there. What I noticed when I started cutting up all these leather products is that some of the leather is very thin, but it's pretty on both sides. Some of it is thin and only pretty on one side. Then there's thick leather that can be used for different things that's pretty on both sides. And there's thick leather that is ugly on one side. So watch all my videos and decide what kind of leather you have. That will help you decide which video to watch and what to make. So for this specific video, we are going to be using a leather punch, which if you go to your local craft store and use a coupon, it should end up being less than $5. So the way these work is they have a little tool. You put the tool up under this to pry it up, and then these rotate. The jewelry for this specific video is for leather that can stand up on its own and doesn't need a ribbon clasp or a cord clasp or anything else. It will maintain its shape even when it's punched. And as always, watch the video and then go on Pinterest and find ideas, see what kind of jewelry you would like to make, and be inspired and use the right side of your brain. As far as supplies go, you'll need a nice fine point Sharpie, the leather punch. If you're making earrings, you'll want earring findings, and if you're going to make necklaces, you'll need chain. You need recycled leather. You can use metallic Sharpies to add decorative accents, a really sharp pair of scissors, and at least one set of pliers, also jump rings. Take the list of supplies and have a party. Invite friends over and have everyone bring a couple of those supplies and also some recycled leather to contribute. That way the cost is split up and you can have a party. You can make it in batches where you're going to give these as gifts for people for the whole next year. And also, if you each get really good at making one kind of jewelry, you can trade at the end. That way you end up with lots of different kinds of jewelry. I have attached a template to this video. You can print it and you will just cut out the shape that you want. Print the template, blow it up or shrink it based on the size of jewelry you want to make. You can make nice small ones or you can make really big statement earrings. So print the template in different sizes and cut out what you want. Here is an example of the template that I have attached to this video. You can cut the shapes out and use them like this, or if you're going to have a party and you want something nice and solid to have for everyone to trace, then you can just use an X-Acto knife and cut the shapes out. That way it holds together and people can kind of compare the different shapes and sizes next to each other. Here I have my leather that's thick enough to stand alone, and I have the shape that I wanted to use, and I want the red side to be forward, so I'm going to flip it over. Don't waste the leather. You want to draw your shapes on the edges like when you're cutting out cookies. You don't want to waste leather. If you're doing an earring shape that is not symmetrical, you need to flip the shape over so that they are mirror images of each other. I'm going to go ahead and mark, just put a little dot so I know which ones are the top. If your scissors are not sharp, your leather will not cut nicely. So make sure you have nice sharp scissors. Cut along the marker, trying to cut it off. It won't matter so much if the marker's on the back side. Go ahead and look at what you cut out and make sure that there isn't anything. This needs cleaned up just a little bit. Craftsmanship is very important. When I went to art school, that's most of what they drilled into us. So I marked the top. When you're using the leather punch, you want to make sure that the holes that you make for the jump rings on an earring or on a necklace pendant, they need to be large enough that the jump ring is going to have wiggle room so it can move with you as you're wearing it. You want to put the hole as close as you can to the top while making sure that it's sturdy enough to have that jump ring hold it and not pull out. Then you'll hear it snap. And then you have a hole. And go ahead and place them on top of each other so that you put the hole in the exact same place. And you have both of these. If for some reason your jump ring gets kind of caught up on the leather, go ahead and trim it just a little bit on the top. But if you're making earrings, you're just going to take the earring finding, open up the loop that's at the bottom of the earring, and you do not pull it apart, you pull it sideways. Otherwise it's too hard to put back on. So once you've pulled it apart with your pliers, make sure that the side you want facing forward is facing forward. On that loop, grab your pliers and shut that loop back together. It has to be perfect. Make sure that you put it exactly the way you found it, if not better, that it's nice and tight, that there's no way that the leather is going to slip out. And do that for the other one. Finally, I don't like the way the side of this leather looks, so I'm going to take a marker that matches the earring finding that I picked. I am going to just give the edges a touch of marker. Every leather is going to be different, and when you start cutting into it, say you picked a bag at Goodwill and it looks great, it's exactly what you want, but when you start cutting into it you realize there's leather mounted on foam, or there's kind of glue residue. You can also use suede if it's thick enough. So that just kind of cleaned it up, made it look a little more sharp. Do that for the other one. You can leave your earrings like this, which they look fantastic. Or you can do some punching with the leather puncher, or you can use marker to add details, or you can also cut. Feathers are all the rage right now, so I am going to show you how to do some feathering on the side. You want organic looking cuts, so it's okay if they're not perfect, but we're just going to start by cutting little slits up the side, kind of curved. And then you want to cut little tiny pieces, little triangles off every other little feather piece that you cut. So you're going to have all these little tiny triangles coming out. So that way you can just see the feathering a little better. And kind of bend it and work with it so that you can see feathering. So you would just repeat that for the other one. If you wanted to make a pendant instead of leather earrings, all you would do is the same process. The chains usually come with clasps, which you would just attach the exact same way as we're going to attach the pendant. You'll just take the chain in front of a mirror and cut it to be the length that you want it to be. If you don't want to do a clasp, you will cut it so that it's long enough you can put it over your head. Same thing with the jump ring. Open it sideways, not apart. You're going to put one on your pendant and make sure that it closes nice and tight. It's easier when you use pliers here. Pull it apart. Put it on your other jump ring. If you don't use two jump rings, your necklace will hang sideways. Then on both of the little chain links on the end of your necklace, you will put that jump ring through. The smaller the chain, the harder it will be to get the jump ring through. And shut it. So I hope you liked my video. Please like and subscribe, that way I can make more, quit my day job, and just have fun showing people how to share the sweetness of creativity.